Hello and welcome. My name is Avleen and I am your social studies educator on Study Room. So, in our today's class, we are going to discuss our first chapter of economics, and the name is development. So, before starting, let me tell you that development is a very interesting chapter, and you will be hearing a lot of points that you might already know. So, let's get started with the video. Alright, so let's see what's the first thing that we have with us. So it's basically the definition. So development can be defined as the people economic growth along with the growth of their basic needs such as education, health, lifestyle and more. So with this defined, one can get an idea that development can be defined by people's economic growth. So over here, the word economic growth basically means money. So for India, like I'm not saying India in particular, but at many places when you go, if the person is earning well, that means his or her economic growth is very, very good. It's very, very stable. They are developing day by day. But the question is, are they actually developing? Like, really, are you actually developing? So, what we mean by this definition of a development is that development as a measure, we should not always see development as an economic growth that is based on money. Instead, it should be considered as a whole concept where features like education, health, and lifestyle, a lot of them should be considered in order to consider a person well developed. Not only we should see the economy, but we should also see if the person is well balanced in his life. He or she should complete their education, then they should move forward. So everything should be considered when you call a person to be developed, not just their economic balance. Moving forward, let us see a few examples in order to understand why different people consider development differently. So, by this line, what I mean to say is what is development for me may not be development for few of you. What is development for few of you may not be the development for me. But this doesn't mean that you are wrong or the development for me which is not the one for you, that doesn't mean that I am wrong. We need to see things for different perspective in order to understand another person's point of view. So taking this point forward, over here I'll be presenting you one example. So in this picture, this is a very well constructed dam that you can see. It's like purely constructed with this water running over fresh water, fresh supply of water. So basically, the thing is that this dam is constructed in order to generate electricity for the country. Okay. So for the hydroelectricity purpose, this dam is created. So yeah, we can consider it to be development for our India. But do you think this dam is just created on an area where there is no one? I don't think so. So this dam is a construction. This dam can be considered to be a development for people of India, or you can say for a construction company, for an architecture company. Architecture and construction company have developed their economy. For India, they'll be getting electricity through a new means. So yeah, this is development through for one perspective, for one person's perspective. Yes, this is development. They are not wrong. But there are many people who are living in this area, or let me rephrase, who are living in this area, but they have to empty their land. All of this land they basically have to empty because there is one dam that needs to be constructed in order to get electricity to India. So, if you see from the perspective of them, we are actually telling them to go to empty their houses. Why? Because people need electricity. So, is it a development for them? No, they have to empty their home. They have to basically move from this area to some another area, then again rebuild their house with everything they used to have over here. Even, for example, if a person is having home here, so this is a grassy area. They have water over here. Obviously, since you can see there is a water, so there must be a somewhat river over here. Their animals could have come here to just drink water. So this is not a development for them. They will not be considering this to be development for them, for their life. It's a destruction for them. So I hope now my main point is clear that development for one is not development for the other person. Moving forward, let us see some more development goals for people belonging to different categories. So landless, rural, laborers. So laborers, I can say, are again very important people. They basically help in the construction of the houses we are living in today, right? So they are landless. They do not have any land. They do not have any fixed land per se to live. Okay, they are having a house, but yeah, that house is also not well constructed. Though they are helping other people to, build their beautiful mansions, beautiful villas. So what can be development for them? Maybe you can say proper land on their name. Their child should be going in a good school, 3 times meal. So all these three things can be a development for them. Okay. Moving forward, a prosperous farmer. What can be a development for a prosperous farmer? So farmers may be having a lot of, vegetables, houses, and like not a lot of, I would say by a lot of, I mean, they must be having. Okay. So what can you be considered to be development for them? So for developing when it comes to farmers, again, I would say that they should be having a proper house where all their children are going into proper schools every day. They do not need to worry about the income of their family, about the fees of school, so everything. For when it comes to farmers, we can also consider the proper, insecticides or pesticides, some proper machines that they need for the, agriculture, not just this tractor, but yeah, there are many other machines that they might need for, developing their grains. So all of this could be considered when it comes to development of prosperous farmers. Now, farmers who depend only on rain for crops. So I think since all of us are well grown till now, we all of us, like every one of us, know that in order to make these crops grow, one always need water. Without water, it will be just a barren land, and there will be no crops. We will be not having any rice, bajras, all of that, right? So for a farmer who only depends on rain in order to get water for the crops, for him, development maybe can be a pipeline. I'm sure you must have seen a pipeline. It's a small pipeline and it's like a sprinkler, like it sprinkles water. Once click on a certain button, it sprinkles water around your field. So this can be a you can say well taken development for a farmer where there is a properly constructed pipeline which supplies water anytime he may turn on the button, and the water may sprinkle all over the crops. But on the other hand, it might not be a development for some other people who are living in the area nearby. They must be having, you can say, crops that might not need that much amount of water. They might need certain amount of water. So basically, for different people belonging to different categories, we have different development goals. For example, now let us see some urban examples. People living in an urban area are unemployed. The youth, for example, all of us are aware about the coronavirus pandemic that it has caused. So a lot of people who have been graduated in the year 2021, they are not having jobs. Like literally almost 80% of them are not having jobs. So basically the youth of India is unemployed. So development for them can be, you can say, safe jobs. The safe jobs can be considered to be a development for them. They should be financially stable, right? Financially stability can be a development for them. So for an unemployed urban youth, these two can be considered to be a development. Now, for a boy from a rich urban family, what can be you can say development for a boy from a rich urban family? You can say maybe for the development, you must be thinking, ma'am, that he's rich. He can have anything. Why would he have any problem? So I would say no. When it comes to development, we should consider it to be as a whole. So for a boy, again, from a rich urban family, he might need some or the other thing. For example, his expenses, he need to make sure that he must be fulfilling his expenses on his own rather than depending upon his parents. Or he must be having some health issues, so he should be considerate about his health. So some you can say physical stability can be considered as a development for this man, right? Now, a girl from a rich urban family. So, since they both are rich, like I would say this in both of them, they both are rich, so economically they are wholly satisfied, right? So for him, as we discussed that you can say development could be his health stability. He might want to be financially independent instead of depending for money to with his parents, on his dad, on his mom. So this can be development for the boy. Now, considering development for a girl. So, for a girl, I think most of the girls may relate that development can be proper areas for their visit. Development can be proper washrooms for girls, because this is something that all of us knows that not every place has a girls' washroom, right? So, development for her can be this. Also, she might be working at somewhere, so development for her can be a proper equality, instead of making there might be happening with her that the same boy who is working with him, the same amount of work is done by him, he is getting much higher pay as compared to her. So for her, development can be equality, development can be a proper treatment where she would have been given a financial stability, a job stability, where there is no gender discrimination. So this whole example justifies development goal for different category of people. Okay. Moving forward, let us see what are we concluding. So the first point that we are concluding over here is different people can have different development goals. Well, very, very true statement. Development for one cannot be development for other. Which is development for one person, if we see it through their perspective, they are right. If we see through another person's perspective, they are wrong. But if we see again through their point, their perspective, then that person is also right, right? So different people have different developments. What may be development for one cannot be development for other. Well said, well true. Moving forward, income and other goals. Along with seeking more income, people seek things like equal treatment, freedom, security, and respect. Quality of life depends on material as well as non-material things. Similarly, for development, people look at a mix of goals. So basically, by this is something that I just discussed few seconds back while I was explaining to you an example, that economic growth is not just money. The money should not be considered as an example of our development, economic growth, right? So for some people, the main priority list can start with their freedom. They should have proper freedom to work, to have their opinion out in the world. They should have proper job security. They should have a stability in their life when it comes to health. They should be healthy. They should have an insurance. So different people seek different things, right? One of the very important example I would like to give over here is of your family. So I think none of us can measure the love that we have for our family, right? Nobody can measure that. None of us. But that doesn't mean we love our family. So Something that cannot be measured doesn't mean that it cannot be counted, right? We cannot measure the love that we have for our family. We cannot measure the respect that we have of our family. So something that are not materialistic doesn't mean that they are not thing, doesn't mean that they are not included, they are not important. They are absolutely important. Different people have different perspective towards their life, right? So I hope this particular line is very much clear to you. Quality of life depends upon material as well as non-material things. Similarly, for development, people look for a mix of goals. Now, over here, I would just one more time like to reiterate that mix of goals definitely includes your economic stability. Alright. Apart from that, it also includes, for some people, it may include the equality that they might not be having at their workplaces, security, okay, something related to health maybe. So different people have different perspectives. To be more precise, when it comes to development, if they are having health insurance with them, for them they are fully developed, they have everything. Girls who are not having a proper right, proper respect, they are not receiving proper equality at their workplaces, they are not developed. But once they are having that, for them they are absolutely developed, they have everything. So mix of goals are there. Moving forward, let us answer few questions. Okay, so kids, with before starting, I just would just like to have you tell you few things, that make sure you're noting down the points. These questions that we'll be discussing now are pretty important for your exams. So let's get started. Our first question over here is, why do different persons have different notions of development? Which of the following explanation is more important and why? So this first line, why do different people have different notions of development? Whenever you see this type of line in your exam, make sure that you start your answer with the define of development. Okay, this is the main thing that you're going to begin with, which is your define for development. What is development? Further, you will be telling them with an example. You will be giving an entire explanation of this line with the help of example. So the one example, I gave you many examples, but I think the one example that you can give over here is of a construction, right? Construction dam for an hydroelectricity can be a development for India, but it cannot be a development for the people living in the nearby areas. Okay, so this line can be well explained with the help of some define in the start to begin with. This is the first thing that you need to do. And the second thing will be your example that you will be giving them of the construction of dam. Okay. Now they are asking that which of the following explanations is more important and why. So in this, it's on you. It depends upon your question. So I would be explaining both of them, because people are different. Yes, people are different. They have different perspectives. Their situations that they are facing, their life scenarios are not same. The life that I am living is not something that one of my friend will be living, right? So yes, people are different. Their perspective, their vision to their life is absolutely different. Second is because life situation of persons are different. Yes, exactly as discussed. So basically, both of these points are interrelated. So what you can do is, without taking more risk, try explaining both of them and give the why explanation for both of them. Tell in your answer, explain this, that yes, because people are different. Their scenarios that they live in, the upbringing, the area that they live in is not same, right? Some people must be having issues in their health, right? So development for them can be different. Some people might not be facing that much equality in their workplace. So development for them be different, because life situations of persons are different. Again, this is the same thing, same example needs to come over here as well. Okay, I hope this is clear. Moving forward, our second question is, do the following two statements mean the same? Justify your answer. People have different developmental goals. Yes, correct. People have conflicting developmental goals. Yes, correct. Let me explain you why. People have different developmental goals. I hope this thing is clear. Again, I would take the construction example. Okay. With this, I'm sure all of you must be relating that yes, people have different development goals. This point is absolutely well justified. Conflicting developmental goal, I would again be taking this particular example, but in a way that when people who are constructing or who are building this dam, okay, this huge dam, so for them this is a development, okay, but for people living in the nearby with their, you can say animals, or it can be anything, sheep, cows, anything. So for them, that is not a development. So they might have a conflict between them. That no, I'm right. No, I'm right. But if you see for both of them, from both of them's perspective, you would actually, you would be the one who will be saying, no, you are also right on your side and you are also right on your side. So yes, we can absolutely say that both of these statements means the same. People have different developmental goals. Those goals that they have can be conflicting, but yes, they are absolutely right on their path. Okay. Moving forward, this is the last question. Give some examples where factors other than income are important aspects of our life. So over here, they are saying that factors other than income. Income justifies your economic growth, as all of us know. Now, other examples can include your freedom part, okay, your equality part, your respect part. All of these examples, all of you can give, okay? Because these are some other things that people might look for. They might, I won't say might, they definitely look for, not just money, okay? I just had a very amazing example. When we are looking for a job, right? We are looking for a good office, all of us, okay? When you will be in future looking for a job, you will be looking, okay, my office should be at a great location, okay. Second thing, my salary should be good. It should be at least up to the level of hard work that I'll be doing, okay. Third thing is that the environment that you will be surrounded with, that should not be negative. If all of these are there, okay, for girls I would say personally that freedom, you should be having freedom to raise up your opinions. Even for boys as well, I would include this point that they should be having freedom to make sure that they are putting their opinion on the table in front of their bosses, their seniors, their colleagues, right? So for if you have all of these things, development for you is this particular thing, right? So these are some things that people do see when it comes to important factors of their life. These are also some important things that they have in their life. There should be freedom, they should be treated equally, not just in regards to money, but in regards to gender as well. I'm speaking there. If they are women, it doesn't mean that they need to be treated less respectfully. They should be treated absolutely with that much respect as to what a male person is being treated with, right? So these are all the examples that you can include in order to make your this question around a 5 to 4 marker question. Okay? In our question number 4, they are asking, explain some of the important ideas of the above section in your own words. So above section basically over here means your question number 3. where all of us just gave the examples. In that particular question, you can just slide back and you can see that they are asking you some examples that are more important than your economic factor, which is your money. So over here, it's just the words have been reframed, and now they are asking you to tell them or to explain them certain ideas. So certain ideas will be same, like you can give heading as equality, and you can explain the entire scenario. Okay, boys can write boys, girls can write girls. Then the second point can be of respect, and you can again explain the entire scenario. Then your third point can be your job stability, and then you can explain the entire scenario. So things like that. The answer is same. It's just the question have been reframed, because any out of the two can become, but your answer needs to be same. The meaning is absolutely same. Okay. Moving forward, national development. So before making any statement, national development, now we will be seeing development towards country's perspective. We are the one who are changing the perspective and shifting it to a country, India. Different person could have different as well as conflicting notions of a country's development. So for a certain people, a country is developed when all the poor people who are living on streets will be having home. Okay. For some, country is developed then. For some people, our nation is developed when every single youth will be having jobs with proper stability. Okay. So for some, our country is developed then. To some people, our country might be developed when you can say there are hospitals, proper hospitals or facilities available for everyone, be it a poor people, be it a rich people. You can say there are many treatments, right? There are many treatments that poor people cannot afford, right? But that doesn't mean they are not human. They are human. They need to be treated just in the way as a rich people, a billionaire or a millionaire is being treated, right? So for them, that is a development. That is the time when a country is developing as a whole, when everyone can afford proper medical treatment, proper health insurances, when every youth is having jobs, every youth is earning well, we are helping our country to develop day by day, day by day. So for different people, national development is also different. It's not same. Okay. Moving forward, there is a question, and the question says, what should be development goal for such an area? Over here, you can see huge building, right? Huge building. Below here, you can see some huts with women carrying the pot. Means that clearly it's defining that this is developed proper everything, okay, including your water supply, your electricity, and everything. Over here, not even water is there, right? They have to go and then carry water, and then they have to be getting it to their parents, their children, for cooking food, for washing utensils and everything, right? So our question says that what should be developmental goal for such an area? So for this particular area, we would say that development goal, I would be writing over here. You guys can also note down these points, that proper houses. Okay, this is the first point. Second point can be proper water supply, because water is very necessary. Water is needed for everything. Okay. Then third is proper electricity without any cutting or anything like that. Because what you see, if kids live here, there are also kids here, right? It's being shown. These are men's, but yeah, this is definitely a kid. So it's not like that these are only kids. This is also a kid, and he or she might also need electricity, water, proper houses. So a developmental goal for this area is very different when it comes to this, when we'll be measuring these two areas. So this area needs large amount of development to be considered to be a developed as a nation. So a nation can be considered developed since we are discussing national development. So I would say a nation will be considered developed when there are proper houses for these people as well. Their job, okay, yeah, we can also mention job when they can have proper jobs, when they are having a water supply, electricity, when schools they can afford, they can start sending their children to schools, they can afford the fees. So as in India, our India is developed when all of the poor people, not just rich, all the poor people are also having the same rights. They are also getting the same facilities as all the other people are getting. So national development can be definitely be considered via all these 4 5 points. Okay. So I hope this is one thing that's clear to you. Second is, okay, we have been given certain situations. So let's just start by reading the situation. So, a vessel dumped 500 tons of liquid toxic waste into open air dumps in a city and the surrounding sea. This happened in a city called Abidjan in Ivory Coast, a country in Africa. The fumes from the highly toxic waste caused nausea, skin rashes, fainting, diarrhea, etc. After a month, 7 persons were dead, 20 in hospital, and 26,000 treated for the symptoms of poisoning. And poisoning is not a small thing, absolutely not. So, let us see the question. What's the question they are asking? Who are the people who benefited and who did not? What should be the developmental goal for this country? So we'll be going line by line over here in this particular answer. Okay, so the people who benefited by discarding this toxic waste can definitely be the chemical forms, because they have discarded these toxic waste that was harmful for the company, for the people in the company. So what they did was they discarded into an open area where the sea was there, right? So for the people in the chemical company, they are benefiting by removing this type of material from their environment which they are breathing in. Now the people who are not who did not benefited will be the one that are living in the nearby areas, right? And second, if you see the question carefully, it says that they have discarded certain amount of things in sea, right? So obviously in sea we have some water creatures living. So for them, they are also, you can say, affected by the harmful chemical that has been thrown into their homes, because water are the home for the animals, for the fishes, octopuses, turtles, like variety of water animals, right? Aquatic animals, so to say. So these are the ones, this is the category that has been affected, and the chemical company and the people in the chemical company are the one that has been benefited. Now, what should be the development goal for this country? So the development goal for this country, since there is a lot of, you can say it's saying nausea, skin rashes, fainting, diarrhea, poisoning. So over here, we will be seeing this question into two aspects. Okay, so in developmental goal, the first thing is proper health facilities for both, not just rich but poor as well, because air in the air, both the people, both type of people have taken breath in. So not just rich, poor people who have been affected by this should also be well taken care of. So this is also the developmental goal for the entire nation. The proper health facilities should be provided to everyone. The second thing over here is can be the sea, the open areas. They should not just directly dispose it into any area, no matter how large it is. There are people who are living in that particular area, right? So they should be having a proper place where all of these toxic things can be discarded so that another living creatures, another living species cannot be affected. So all of this can be, you can say, a developmental goal when it comes to country. Okay. Moving forward, we are having the last question, which says, what can be some of the developmental goals for your village, town, or locality? So, Bache, this is the question that we all will be having answers of, and answers as to what mine will be absolutely different as to what your answer will be. So, let's just take some common examples. Okay, for example, in the locality, village, towns, we can say developmental goal as an entire nation can be proper roads, right? After that, second can be a clean water supply for everyone, right? What else? You can say that there should be proper houses built for the people who are living on streets, who are not having proper houses due to some or the other reasons. So proper houses for them can be, you can say, developmental goal when we see development as a complete nation. So that can be a developmental goal. All these 3 points can be included under the developmental goal of your village, town, or locality. Also, if you will be talking about the village, then we can also say that proper and equal rights for girls to be go to schools. They should be having proper sanitary facilities available with them. They should have proper washroom, separate washroom for girls. So this can be a development for girls in the village area, right? So all of us, for points for all of us may be different, but yes, once again I would like to include that the development for one is not the development for others. So our perspective might be conflicting, but that doesn't mean that we'll be having a wrong perspective. So if this type of question comes, you can always have 5 to 6 points in your own words, because they are over here, they are asking you, not any book text, right? So I hope this particular question is clear with you. And with this, we are ending the first part of this chapter. So I hope to see you in the second part, where we will be discussing further topics of our chapter, Development Economics. Thank you.